Hi, I'm Mike, founder of GoodBed.com. Today we're going to be reviewing the brand new DreamCloud mattress, which they market as an ultra luxury mattress at an affordable price point. We're excited to give you our thoughts on that, and as usual, let you know which types of people we think are going to be the best match for this mattress, so stick around. One of the first things you probably want to know about a mattress is just how soft it is. And in the case of the DreamCloud, it only comes in one softness level. And we found it a little hard to define, but overall we will put it at a medium firm on our softness spectrum, meaning just to the firmer side of medium. And I would add that it's probably towards the softer end, closer to medium within that medium firm category. And particularly if you are a side sleeper, I feel like it may sleep a little bit on that closer to medium side of that spectrum. But if you're a back sleeper or even a stomach sleeper, I feel like it's more clearly in that medium firm camp. So now let's get into the details of what's actually in a DreamCloud mattress. And there's a lot to digest here because overall this is a 15-inch mattress that has what we would consider to be 8 total layers. Basically 8 layers excluding layers that are just fabric or fire barriers or things like that. But encapsulating all of this, we would say that in general we'd characterize this as a foam over pocketed coil construction. So that's kind of what makes it a hybrid. There's about 5 inches of total foam over about an 8-inch pocketed coil unit. But we'll go through all the layers so that you have the full picture right now with a cover that is made of cashmere actually. So that's a nice little luxury touch right there. Below the cover you've got just under a ½ an inch of gel memory foam, and then you've got just under an inch of other kind of soft foam, and basically those layers together form the quilt. And below that you've got 3 layers of foam. You've got just under an inch of regular foam, just under a ½ inch of natural latex, and then just under 2 inches of more polyurethane. And then with another layer of fabric, then you got just over a ½ an inch of additional polyurethane foam. Then you have the coil unit, which again is not quite 8 inches tall and has a foam perimeter going all the way around it for edge support. And on each side of the coil unit is what they call a heat-treated cotton pad. To be honest, I don't know what that means or what function that performs, but it's meant to provide some cooling effect. It is, mind you, pretty far down in the mattress. And then below all of that is another inch and a half or so of polyurethane foam on the bottom. And it's surprisingly soft polyurethane foam on the bottom. Usually you have something in the way of foam below a layer of coils just to give the coil something to rest on. In this particular case, it's much softer than normal, to the point where we even flipped this thing over to see could you sleep on the other side. And I think you could. I think certainly if you're a back sleeper or a stomach sleeper, and particularly one who prefers a firmer sleep surface, I think you actually could sleep on the bottom of this mattress. It looks quite nice for one thing. So that's just something to keep in mind if you're ever in a pinch with this mattress. That's the full construction. And then we want to point out a few other things that I think are worth noting about the construction of this mattress. Number one is you see these things right here. These are what's called functional tufts, okay? So you see tufts like this on a lot of mattresses, but in most cases they're decorative. They're just there to kind of provide that old world craftsmanship kind of look. But in this case, you can specifically see that I can press this down and there's an actual nylon thread going all the way through this mattress, and it's actually holding the layers together. It's going obviously right through every one of these layers, keeping them together, keeping them from shifting around, compressing it a little bit, which helps to, that kind of pre-compression effect helps to minimize body impressions. So that's a really kind of high-end touch to have on this mattress. That's not normal in any way at this price point. In fact, the price point that you see that at has gone up and up and up over the years. At this point in time, that's something that you generally only see on much more expensive mattresses. So that's one touch we wanted to point out. Another touch I'll point out here is these handles, which are really nice. They're super sturdy handles that you can actually use to maneuver the mattress and carry the mattress, so they are functional, not decorative. These things here, these are actually this is an example where it is decorative. These are meant to look like the old world big pin. They basically had stitching that goes diagonally up through all the layers, giving the mattress a strong edge. That's just decorative though, they're not actually functional. And then overall, we'd say like, this cover and everything, it's really well stitched. Everything's solidly put together. So definitely has the look and the feel of a luxury mattress. So there's your construction of the DreamCloud mattress. So now we're going to get into the two things that everybody has to get from their mattress, which are back support and pressure relief. And I'll illustrate these for you myself, starting out on my back because that's the position I predominantly sleep in. And just for context, I'm about 6 feet tall, not quite 200 pounds. And what I could tell you is that I definitely feel really well supported on my back on this mattress. As I mentioned, we call this a medium firm. That's a great match for a back sleeper of my size. So it just, definitely you're feeling pretty propped up on this mattress. My hips are sinking in a little bit, again, just to kind of support that lumbar area, but like otherwise no hammocking or anything like that. So overall, I think in general, this is going to be a pretty good fit for most back sleepers. I think maybe if you're a back sleeper and you're super light, you might find it a little on the firm side. But otherwise, you should be pretty happy as a back sleeper on this mattress from a back support standpoint. And then I'm going to flip over to my stomach here now. Again, I felt like because it has like that pretty medium firm feel, I think a stomach sleeper of my size is a pretty good fit for this. I definitely didn't feel overarching of my back, which is the big thing I look out for on this. In terms of like folks who are lighter than me, I don't see any issues as a stomach sleeper being lighter than me on this mattress. Heavier than me, at some point there's a lot of foam in this mattress, and it's possible at some point the heaviest part of your body would start to go a little too far into the foam. It's hard for me to say. I mean, I don't feel anywhere close to that at my weight. So I think it would have to be somebody significantly heavier than me who's a stomach sleeper for it to be something that could possibly be an issue. I'm going to flip over to my side here now, and now this is the position where I always discuss pressure relief in addition to back support, because here your body's weight is distributed over the smallest surface area. Your shoulders and your hips tend to get the most pressure points. And in this case, what I would say is, as we mentioned, the mattress has a bit of a softer feel when you're on your side. It feels to me like underneath the top layers, there's probably like a softer layer underneath there that basically you activate when you come down in a more specific area with your weight, like you do when you're on your side. So it basically has a bit of a softer feel on your side than it does on your back, where your weight is more evenly distributed over a broader area. And as a result, I'm getting adequate pressure relief. I definitely do not have any pressure points on this mattress. It feels really good. So I think, like, for me, this is certainly good pressure relief. I'm also getting enough because of that like extra sink. I feel like I'm getting enough, my shoulder's getting into the mattress enough that my spine's in pretty good alignment here. I suppose I could get a little bit more into the mattress. That might be good than I am, since that would probably help a little bit from a spinal alignment standpoint. But overall, it has not been an issue for me on my side, anything from a back support standpoint. I do think if you're lighter than me as a side sleeper, that could become a factor for you. Maybe you'll wish you got a little bit more into the mattress. But if you're heavier than me, I think you'll be fine on that dimension. And I would think that the pressure relief for those heavier than me would also be okay as a side sleeper, but it's hard for me to know. Like there's definitely a point that I'm hitting here now that I'm like got through that soft layer. It's hard for me to know exactly what's below this. There's a lot more foam, so it's probably okay for a heavier sleeper, but it's just hard for me to know for sure. So now we're going to get into some of the characteristics of the mattress that we consider to be more preference-based, meaning things that can be one way or another neither of which is better or worse. It all just depends on what your personal preference is. And the first of these is what we call responsiveness, which is the difference between kind of a slow responding memory feel or a quick responding bounce. And you will see a lot of mentions of the word memory foam on the DreamCloud website, which is a little confusing from me because there really is only less than 1/2 inch of memory foam in this mattress and no memory feel to speak of, which we'll show you here. I'm just gonna press down on the mattress, release, and you see it basically comes back instantaneously. I'll even show you with my full weight. If I sit down on it and jump up, you see it just comes right back. So no delayed effect, no slow responding memory feel. The only place that there is that 1/2 inch or less of memory foam is right up at the top. You can kind of see it if you press down just gently on the very top kind of inch or so, and you let go, you see a little bit of slow responsiveness, but not enough to give the mattress a memory feel per se. Let's switch to bounce, and I'll just start on the surface here and show you. There is actually a fair amount of what we call surface bounce, which we test with 5 to 10 pounds of pressure with my fingers here, and you do get a quick responding feel from that top layer. In terms of like a mid-level bounce, we'll drop this 16-pound bowling ball and see how it responds. You see a little bit of bounce there. We call that like about a medium amount of bounce. Certainly less than a lot of inner spring mattresses, which I think is because there is 5 inches of foam on top of these springs, which is dampening the effect. So the springs aren't really being activated by that 16-pound bowling ball. On the other hand, when I drop my full 200 pounds, you can see that there definitely is some of what we call deep bounce. So in that situation, obviously those springs are being activated, pushing me back up. So overall, there's definitely bounce at all levels of the mattress and very little memory feel. So it's easy to say that on the responsiveness spectrum, this falls over on the quick response side of the spectrum. The next preference-based characteristic we're going to talk about is what we call cushioning depth, because some people prefer to sleep more in their mattress or be hugged or cradled by it, and other people prefer to sleep more on their mattress or get that kind of floating on top sensation. And in the case of the DreamCloud, it's a bit of a weird case because you definitely get more of that ladder sensation, that floating on top type of sensation. However, it's not for lack of cushioning depth. There's plenty of cushioning depth here. It's a combination of the fact that there's a little bit lower point elasticity of this mattress, where when you press down, like when I lay here, it's not hugging right up to my body. It's more being gradually a more gradual sink. That combined with the fact the way they've done the tufting of this mattress on the surface and the quilting has a lot of undulations, which kind of accentuates that floating sensation. So overall, there's plenty of cushioning. It's a little bit of a misnomer to say that it's slightly shallower than average cushioning, but that's kind of how we're going to classify it because that's sort of how it feels. Because you definitely get more of that floating sensation. And you can sort of see that as well with the bowling ball, which we use just to give you kind of a consistent barometer across the mattresses we've reviewed. You can see that the bowling ball definitely sinks in less than average relative to other mattresses that we've reviewed. The last thing I want to point out is just for those of you who are wondering whether you can feel these ridges, because they are pretty substantial undulations. Normally with a mattress that's tufted like this, you don't really feel it at all with the sheets and everything on it. In this case, I would say just because of the firmness of the surface foam and these valleys, the way they're stitched down, I did feel it a little bit, just like if an appendage was kind of found itself laying in one or like leaning towards or off of one. I did kind of notice it a little bit, but it wasn't something that bothered me at all. So now we're going to get into some of the characteristics that are more priority based, meaning things that can be better or worse, but may or may not be a priority for you. And the first of these is motion isolation, which you may know is about to what extent is the person on, say, that side going to be aware of or affected by what's happening on this side. And we'll start by testing this with a 16-pound bowling ball, which we drop here, and you see that bowling pin is pretty stable. Doesn't Doesn't move much. And we do have it on a piece of tempered glass like we do all our reviews, just to stabilize for all these undulations. I'm gonna drop down. You see in that situation, it does fall. We've seen like kind of mixed results here. That time it didn't fall. So overall, we'd say like it's not the best as far as motion isolation, but it's definitely good for motion isolation. One concern for some people, particularly on a pillow top mattress like this one, is the ease of repositioning. So we just want to show you that really this is not something we expect would likely be an issue for you. It's pretty easy to move around on. The only point I would make is I'd reference back to the comment I made earlier about these undulations. You may find that you reposition like one extra time as it relates to these undulations occasionally, but definitely repositioning in general is not something we expect to be a challenge for anyone on this mattress. One thing that's important to some people is edge support, so we always cover this in our reviews. And in the case of the DreamCloud, we would say that this is a strength of this mattress, particularly relative to other online mattress options. As you can see here, I'm sitting on the edge of the mattress, and it's such a tall mattress that my feet are barely touching the floor even, and you can still see that there's really not that much dip here. And I'll show you it, you'll see even more as I lay on the edge of the mattress. You know, it's overall able to hold my weight pretty well here. So while there is a bit of lean on my body right now, that's only really because of the tufting on top of the mattress. The quilting is so undulated, but it's not because the edge is giving way. So overall, edge support is definitely a strength of this mattress. Another important consideration for some people is temperature, or a concern about sleeping hot. And I'll start by saying that while I'm not particularly susceptible to that problem, I didn't personally have any issues with overheating on this mattress, for whatever that's worth. That being said, this is not a mattress that we would characterize as having a ton of features that are specifically designed to prevent you from sleeping hot. It is an innerspring mattress, and as you know, springs are mostly air, and we do talk a lot about airflow whenever we talk about temperature, so that is certainly a good thing. That being said, there's about 5 inches of foam on top of those springs, which is a lot of foam for the heat to have to travel through to get to that airflow. So what I personally think is offsetting that in the case of this mattress is that I think that when you're sleeping on this mattress, more of your body's surface area is exposed to the air than on a lot of mattresses. And that's a function of two things. Number one, the mattress has a little bit lower point elasticity, as we described earlier, meaning it doesn't conform as closely to your body. That right there means more of your body's surface is exposed to the air. The second thing is all these undulations in the surface of the mattress create little channels for air to flow through, sometimes even like right underneath your body. So that's, again, more points of contact between your body and the air means more efficient expelling of heat. So those to me are the big things. But the company also adds that they've got a heat-treated cotton pad in the mattress that helps wick away moisture and helps keep you cool. I'm not, to be honest, familiar with what that is, what that technology is or does, but it's another feature that they do have in this mattress that's specifically designed to keep you cool. So those are a few things that you can consider if sleeping hot is a particular concern for you. Another important consideration for some people is the degree of natural materials in the mattress, or maybe more so just the lack of harmful chemicals. And in the case of the DreamCloud mattress, this is not a natural mattress in any way. That being said, with respect to chemicals, I think there is something that you can take some reassurance from, which is that all of the foams in this mattress are certified to the CertiPure standard, which is a standard that basically looks for the presence of and off-gassing of various harmful materials and certifies that neither of those are present beyond some minimally acceptable threshold. The other thing I would add is, to the extent that off-gassing is a concern for you, is that while when we first tested, when we first opened the mattress, we definitely reported that you could smell like kind of that new mattress smell even from this distance. What I can say is now that we've had it for a little while, that has definitely dissipated to the point where I'm certainly not able to smell it from that same distance now. I'd have to get up basically very close to the mattress to be able to pick up on that same smell now. So my expectation is that this smell is dissipating quickly and will continue to dissipate. So I don't think long-term off-gassing is something that I'm particularly concerned about with regards to this mattress. One thing we get asked about more and more these days is adjustable base compatibility. So we certainly want to show you the DreamCloud mattress on an adjustable base in a fully elevated both head and foot position and give you a sense of how it behaves. When we think about adjustable base compatibility, it's not just a binary yes or no. There are shades of gray. We think about it first and foremost, though, in terms of will it damage the mattress in any way to use it on an adjustable base? And in this case, the answer is certainly no. The mattress is designed to bend and flex in these ways, so you're all good using it on an adjustable base. The second consideration is how well does it conform to the base? And this is one where definitely there's some variation. You'll see that the foot of this mattress conforms pretty well to the base, certainly better than most mattresses that we've tested, especially right out of the box. You know, over time, that's going to start to conform better and better, but this one does better than most out of the box. In terms of one area where it conforms maybe not quite as well, you can see that this side of the mattress, when nobody was on it, when we elevated it, is way higher. So it's having a little bit of trouble conforming to this deep V that I created by elevating both the head and feet all the way. And when I get off the mattress, that's accentuated even more, like you'll see the whole mattress rises up. So again, I think that's something where the mattress will break in over time, but it's something we want to make you aware of, that this is a 15-inch mattress, so bending it all the way at the head and feet is gonna tax it or challenge it a little bit, especially in the early going. The third thing we think about with adjustable base compatibility is just, does anything weird happen when you put it on an adjustable base? You know, that aside, we don't see a lot of weird stuff happening. Sometimes you see bowing out of the foam perimeter, which this mattress does have a foam perimeter for edge support, but we don't see any bowing of that. So that's a good sign. Sometimes you see a lot of bunching up of quilting here underneath the sleeper in the valley here. That doesn't seem to be happening. So no other weird things to report. Overall, we'd say, with the possible exception of just the overall thickness of this mattress making it a little harder to bend, we'd say this is certainly adjustable base compatible, and but maybe not the most adjustable base compatible. All right, so one thing we know people like to see is just what to expect when the mattress arrives. So we're going to give you a view of the unboxing here, as well as our initial impressions of any off-gassing smells you might experience when you first open it up. One thing to just note about this, it's huge. I'm about 6 feet tall. I can barely bear hug this thing. Definitely a two-person job to move this thing around. So just to note, it's 118 pounds in a queen size is another data point. So here we go, we're gonna open it up. Okay, there you have it, the DreamCloud mattress unboxed. That took a little longer than some of the other mattresses we unboxed, mostly because it was a little harder to get those bags off in the beginning. But on the flip side, I do think those will be easier to dispose of than all the big cardboard packaging, or something you can reuse for snowboards or cadavers, whatever you have lying around. So overall, let's just talk about initial off-gassing impressions. I mean, I could definitely get the new mattress smell, like even from this distance. It's coming out. Let's see. I mean,
Certainly it's even more noticeable when I get up close to the mattress, but I wouldn't say it's like overwhelming the room or anything. So I'd say it's relatively typical of mattresses that have a certain amount of off-gassing. So, and even maybe some of them you can't smell from this distance, and this will be one of the ones you can. But we'll report back when we do our full review if we feel like the smell kind of has hung around unexpectedly long.
A few things that are going to be important anytime you're buying a mattress, but particularly when you're buying one online, are delivery, return policy, and warranty. In terms of delivery, DreamCloud offers two options. The first, the standard, is free delivery to your doorstep. From that point forward, you're on your own to bring it into your house, into your bedroom, unpack it, and so forth, just like we showed you earlier in the video. The second option is white glove delivery, which means people are going to come bring it into your house, all the way into your bedroom. They're going to unpack it all for you and basically do all those things for you. They'll remove the old packaging, and they'll even remove your old mattress as part of that same charge. That is a $149 option that you have. In terms of the return policy, DreamCloud offers a very generous return policy of 365 nights. Basically, you have a full year to try this mattress and decide if you like it. And if for whatever reason you don't like it, you can return it for a full refund. So that's an extremely generous return policy. In terms of the warranty, I think they also have a very generous warranty. They call it an everlong warranty because it lasts forever. Basically, if at any point in time in the future, the mattress is revealed to have a manufacturing defect, they will replace it free of charge for you. And they define, just as a point of detail, they define in terms of a body impression, anything more than 1.5 inches when no one's on the mattress is considered a defect, which is a pretty standard metric. It's more than maybe a memory foam mattress would have, but pretty standard for innerspring mattresses. In terms of a couple other nice things about the warranty, after 1 year, they'll offer you a one-time free cleaning of the mattress, should something happen to it. And after 5 years, they'll offer a one-time free refurbishing of the mattress. So in that case, nothing has to be, doesn't need to be a defect. It's just you want it refurbished for whatever reason, they'll do that for you. So I'm not even sure entirely what that entails, but it's not something that you typically get in a mattress warranty, so that's pretty cool. So those are a few things that can give you some extra confidence in giving the DreamCloud a try. One thing that's important to just about every mattress shopper, and that is also an important part of the DreamCloud marketing story, is value. And when we think about value, we always think about how much does it cost, what's in it, and how long do we think it's going to last. In terms of the cost, the current price of the DreamCloud mattress is $13.99 in a queen size. And that's before any GoodBed discounts would be applied, which at the moment are very substantial. In terms of what you're getting for that, you're getting a 15-inch medium firm hybrid mattress with 8 layers of stuff, most of which is like 7 layers of foam, but then a big 8-inch pocketed coil unit. And at this point, in terms of like how long we think it's going to last, DreamCloud is so new that they haven't actually yet released any of the foam densities that they use. And when we think about longevity, we tend to fall back on foam densities as our best, albeit imperfect, predictor of a mattress's longevity. So I'm a little bit at a loss to give much of a read on the longevity prospects of this mattress. So therefore, what I would fall back on in this particular case, and I don't normally fall back on this, but in this particular case, I do feel I can fall back somewhat on the warranty because it is so generous. It is an outlier in this regard because it is a lifetime forever warranty that basically says that if at any point ever in the future this mattress develops a body impression more than 1.5 inches, they will replace it free of charge. So that tells me that they must have a lot of confidence in the longevity prospects of the materials that they used. So to me, I do take stock in that much more so than I would normally put stock in a warranty as a measure of longevity. In terms of overall how we think this stacks up in terms of value, you'd have to look at like what it most closely compares to. I'd start, just if I scan the whole universe of mattresses, the first thing that occurs to me is that this most closely compares to some of the higher end mattresses you're likely to find at a high-end department store, like a Bloomingdale's as an example, even a Macy's. And in the case of those mattresses, they tend to just have the most similarity in terms of the look, the feel, the overall vibe of the mattress. And they tend to cost 2 to 3 to 4 times as much as this. So without question, this stacks up very well in terms of value against those mattresses. I can't really compare, because of the lack of information, I can't compare them much more closely than that. But they certainly seem to stack up well in terms of value. And then if you look at it compared to other online options, it's really kind of hard to find options that this closely compares to. There are some options that get up to this level of thickness, this sort of 14, 15, 16 inch level of thickness. Most of them don't tend to be ones that are roll packed and compressed the way this one is. Most of them are not made in China the way this one is, which I only mention because that's relevant for some people. But also, while they're maybe similar in price point, roughly, some a little less, some a little more, I can't think of any that have quite the level of detailed luxury touches that this one has, in terms of, like, just as a really fundamental example, this functional tufting running through the mattress. That's a big one. So I would say that this one is a little bit in a class by itself in that regard. And therefore, I would say that overall, this is definitely a good value. So just to summarize some of the things we've covered in this video, the DreamCloud mattress is a 15-inch mattress with a medium firm level of softness and a foam over pocketed coil hybrid construction. We talked about how if you're looking for a mattress that has a lot of that slowly melting into the bed memory feel, you're really not going to get any of that on this mattress. Likewise, we talked about how if you're someone who, for whatever reason, likes a really flat mattress surface and a really smooth top, you're obviously not going to get that on this mattress. Likewise, if you are a lighter side sleeper, this mattress might be a little on the firm side for you to get the proper amount of conforming and pressure relief. But if you're looking for a mattress that is definitely has that luxury look and feel, as well as craftsmanship behind it, one that has a little bit more of that kind of floating on top of your mattress feel with a healthy bounce, one that has excellent edge support, and one that comes with a really outlier good return policy and warranty. And if all of the other criteria and considerations that we described about this mattress feel like a good match for you, then we definitely think that the DreamCloud mattress is one that you should consider. So we hope you found this video helpful in determining whether the DreamCloud mattress is the right mattress for you. If you're still not sure though, we'd really recommend that you go to GoodBed.com and take our mattress match quiz, which you can find right up in the header of any page of our website. This quiz will walk you through all of the same criteria and characteristics that we covered in this video, and ultimately will show you mattresses that best match your personal needs and preferences, both online as well as in the local stores in your area. In fact, after you've taken this quiz, you can even navigate to any of the product pages on GoodBed.com, including for the DreamCloud, and see your personal match score for that product, along with an explanation of how we calculated it. So I really think that that's a helpful resource that you ought to take advantage of. In the meantime though, we thank you for watching and we really hope you sleep well.